Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Marcha HaKodash. That honors be to the apostle, and the great millstone roll well. Peace, blessing, salutations to the hopefully elect. Our Lord, let this lesson is edifying to the lambs, Yahweh Bahashem Shai, which is the entire purpose of this video. All right. Since it's been brought up yet again, we're gonna go ahead and handle this matter decently and in order, and just put this video out there. Me speaking personally, I haven't made a video about this topic in a good minute, a long time. So we'll go ahead and make it. Dealing with the Deuteronomy 22, all right, the law regarding rape. Now, first thing to understand before we enter into this is that this is the Most High's law. Okay, this is not, our personal laws, what we think, especially considering that the reason a lot of people get so, worked up about this is because the fact that they are westernized. And when we say that, that's not our scapegoat, it's fact. Okay, it's reality. When you're raised on the Western, especially in America, when you're raised in the United States and raised in the modern age, you're being taught to think and perceive things a certain way. Okay? So we're coming into this truth, we're supposed to be ready to learn. You came to this truth to learn. Okay, it tells you in I believe 1 Corinthians, if any man think himself to be wise in this world, let him become a fool so that he may be wise. Okay, so what this means is you need to start back at base level. Okay, you're not going to come into this truth and be a top tier teacher or whatever, and it's not about that anyways. Okay, but the Most High set up laws, and what the laws do is give us, the blueprint on how to handle situations. Okay, and it just so happens that the situation of rape is a very real thing that has happened in the past and happens today. Okay, and this is how the Most High wants it to be handled. All right, so essentially, I say that to say this: if you have a problem with the law on how to handle rape, then you have a problem with the Most High. Okay, because once again, this is His words, this is His laws that He, told us to follow, and it's not, it's not like it's something we just came up with one day to put it out there. No, this is reality. Just the same thing with when you become an adult. Okay, once you hit puberty, a woman, once she gets her period, once a girl gets her period, she's not a woman. Or I mean, she's not a girl anymore. She's a woman, Salakia, because she passed the flower of her age. Okay, her period. Simple question, to ask, to bring some sense to that and clarification to that. The period is a woman's body exposing of unused parts. Essentially is what it is in a nutshell. Okay? So the woman's body was hoping that those parts would be used. So why would somebody, a female that's 13, 14, 15 years old, etc., why would their body be disposing of unused eggs? Their body clearly thought that they were, going to have the eggs be used. Because why do you think when women are pregnant, they don't get periods? Okay, because that's what it is. It's essentially their basically their womb rebuilding itself, tearing itself down and making it fresh in hope of life growing in it. Okay, so why would the Most High make it so a 14-year-old, 13-year-old, 15-year-old can get pregnant, whenever the person has a period, but the Most High didn't actually want it like that? That's, now it doesn't mean that's when a woman would always necessarily get married, which marriage in the scriptures is sexual intercourse. Okay, which, the age thing and the sexual intercourse are really two different lessons. I'm not going to get too off topic, but, but why would that be the case? Why would this woman be able to have children but not be able to get married until 18? That's Esau's laws. Okay, the Most High made it so once she passes the flower of age, once she has her first period, that's how you know. Because obviously prior to that, you wouldn't do it, because you do it prior to that. What if your body wasn't developed for that yet? That's why you wait till after that first period. And then her body is letting you know, okay, I didn't get anything, but now I'm in hopes that I'm getting something this time. Okay, and you can say it's sick all you want, but if you lived back then, thousands of years ago, in the land of Israel, you wouldn't be saying that. That would be normal to you, believe it or not. Okay, you'll notice that the age of consent and all of this has gone up over time, and even certain, okay, and stuff like that. It's not uncommon at all. Look at Mexico. Okay, so you just lack understanding, and it's okay to lack understanding in something. I lack understanding in a lot of things, but guess what? That's the whole point in having humility and accepting the fact that you don't know everything, and that having that willingness to learn. Okay, so to get into this, the Most High has created a law to where if a woman is raped, there is a certain way to go about it. Okay, and it's not putting him to death. Salaki, okay? And we're going to get into it. All right, and we're going to make it as plain as we can make it. And at the end of the day, those who have understanding, they'll get it. Okay, as Yahweh Shai always said, those who have ears to hear, they'll hear. Okay, roughly paraphrasing. All right, so we're going to go ahead and hit this Deuteronomy 22nd chapter. We're going to start, just get towards the point, we're going to start at 22. It says, if a man be found lying with a woman, and I also want to put this out there too as well. All you Israelites that say Great Millstone is rapists and pedophiles, not only do you lack understanding in the stuff that we're bringing out, which is history, scriptures, facts, and we don't say that through pride. We just say that, with confidence, through honesty. This is what the scriptures say. This is the ancient customs, things like that. Okay, and you have a problem with it, and that's one thing. But it's another thing when you're saying we're rapists and pedophiles, which is bearing false witness. To the point where you have people that have wanted to harm and even put to death GMS members. And bearing false witness is a sin. And on top of that, bearing false witness also, for example, if you said that I was doing this and I wasn't doing it and you wanted me to be put to death, that's the judgment that will come upon you. So and also the slander, Yahweh Shai said that you're going to have to, we're all going to have to answer for every idle word that we speak. Okay? So just watch what you say, please. Please be more considerate. Please think about what you're doing. Stop being emotional. Okay? It tells you that in 2nd Ezra 14, I believe it's the 4th verse. Or no, it's the 14th verse. 14 and 14, I believe, talks about putting off the weak nature. Being emotional is a weak-natured thing, okay? Not being able to accept hard, cold facts that are put in front of you is an emotional thing. That's a weak-natured thing, okay? Get out of that spirit, man. You wanted the truth, you got it. Now you got a problem with it. That shows what? That you didn't really want the truth, okay? Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 22, it says, if a man be found lying with a woman married to an husband, then they shall both of them die, both the man that lay with the woman and the woman. So shalt thou put away evil from Israel, because that is adultery. Okay? Now next it's going to give us 3 instances. Okay? Because people seem to think, oh, well, if you rape, a woman, you're going to get put to death. That's not what the scripture said. What the scripture said is if you raped a woman who had a man, then you'll get put to death. Okay? And we're going to read it verbatim how it is. Okay? And then if the Spirit, has it, we're going to go into words as well, but it's really self-explanatory. Okay? So right here, verse 23. If a damsel that is a virgin be betrothed unto a husband, which is essentially promised, like engaged, okay, dedicated to. So she already has somebody she's going to marry, she just hasn't had intercourse with him yet. It hasn't been made so-called official, which we had our own, ceremonies, okay? It didn't go according to Esau's judicial system. Okay, it says if a damsel that is a virgin be betrothed unto an husband, and a man find her in the city, and lie with her, then he shall bring them both out unto the gate of that city, and he shall stone them with stones. Notice them, okay, not just the man. And it's going to tell you why. Okay, it says, and ye shall stone them with stones that they die. The damsel, because she cried not, being in the city, and the man, because he hath humbled his neighbor's wife. Which, what do you think that's going into, man? What do you think that's going into, man? Okay, humbled. Come on, bro. It's talking about rape. Okay, it's very obvious based off of the context of what it's talking about. It's not talking about just having sexual intercourse. That wouldn't even make any sense. That wouldn't even make it. Think about it, bro. Okay, think about it. It's talking about lying with her, which we know that's talking about sex. But if it was flat out sexual intercourse, if it was just, first of all, sexual intercourse has to involve consent in order for it to be sexual intercourse. Otherwise, to that extent, I'm trying to put it in perspective. So it's giving you examples here, talking about sex. So if a man is having sex with a woman and it's not against her will and she agrees to it and consents to it, then why would she scream out? Why would she consent to sex? Yeah, go ahead and stick it in me, and then scream, and scream for help. That wouldn't make any sense. If she consented to it, that's adultery off rip. So what do you think this is talking about, man? Use common sense. This is talking about rape. The man is taking hold, which rape just really means to grab a hold of, take up. He's grabbing her up and having sex with her, man. Okay? It says the damsel, because she cried not. So she was raped, even though she was betrothed to a man, and she knew she was betrothed to a man, of course. She didn't cry out. In other words, she didn't, scream for help or anything like that. She just let it happen. So she's worthy of what? Death, because she committed adultery. Okay? It says, because she cried not, being in the city, and the man, because he had humbled his neighbor's wife, so thou shalt put away evil from among you. Right. Because he committed adultery. He knew, he knew she was betrothed, and she knew she was betrothed, and she didn't say anything about it. She didn't scream out. So they're both, being put to death for adultery. All right. Second scenario. But if a man find a betrothed damsel in the field, and the man force her and lie with her, what is he forcing, bro? Come on now. Okay? It says, then the man only that lay with her shall die, but unto the damsel thou shalt do nothing. There is in the damsel no sin worthy of death, for as when a man riseth against his neighbor and slayeth him, even so was this matter. For he found her in the field, and the betrothed damsel cried, and there was none to save her. Right, so if you were in the city and you cried out, somebody would help, okay? Because they would try to stop the act. They try to stop it, okay? So adultery isn't committed, on that, which more than likely the guy knew, most of the time that, okay, this woman had a man and just didn't care, but they were going to stop it so she wouldn't get defiled, okay? They were going to rip him off him and, of course, judge him according to the law, okay? So when a woman screamed in the city, somebody would help her. If she's in a field, meaning she's somewhere away from other people, and she cries out, although she's still getting raped and she's still getting, forced upon, and nobody's coming to help her, so the guy finishes his business, she's not worthy of death because she tried. Okay? It's not an unfair thing. Okay? It says, for as when a man riseth against his neighbor, and it's like you read that. Verse 27, for he found her in the field, and the betrothed damsel cried, and there was none to save her. Right, and that's not her fault. Okay, so just the man is put to death. Now this is the third scenario. If a man find a damsel that is a virgin, which is not betrothed. Okay, virgin means she hasn't had sex with nobody. She's a young woman. Okay, she hasn't had sex with nobody, and she's not engaged to anybody. Okay, and lay hold on her and lie with her, and they be found, then the man that lay with her shall give unto the damsel's father 50 shekels of silver, and she shall be his wife, because he hath humbled her, and he may not put her away all his days. Okay, so what is the punishment to this man for, which it's not even necessary, it's not even really it's not a punishment. I mean, really, okay? You know, and all you that have a problem with this, you apparently you love the idea of single mothers. Okay? That's what it sounds like. Because what this law is forcing is a family to be created, man, and provided. Okay? This man now has to stay committed to this woman and to his seed, you know, and whatever else. Okay, his household. He has to stay committed to her, you know, because more than likely she's getting pregnant, you know, or whatever the case may be. So now they're married, and now they raise a family. What, you know, it keeps them together. Now you see what? You see people rape now and beat women to death, you know, or kill them, or just they just skirt off after they're done. This law made it so you're not doing that. You're not just popping this woman and leaving. You need to stay with her now. What is the problem with that? How do you see a problem with this? And where in this did it say anything about somebody being put to death? Okay, I'm going to read it again. Deuteronomy 22 and 28 to 29. And I'm going to throw this out there too. Okay? Because it's just kind of something that grinded my fucking gears a little bit. Some of you guys out there, man, you have the nerve to call yourself a priest, to put priest on your title. And when the law gets brought out, it's a problem. That's what the priests dealt with. They were experts in the law, man. They were set up to teach the law and to execute righteous judgment. Okay? You see? So for you to call yourself a priest, and I'm not referring to anybody specifically, I'm saying anybody that comes up against this and you're calling yourself a priest, you're supposed to, you know, understand and be glad that the Most High has a law for this, and this is how the Most High wants it to be. But instead you're bucking up against it. You're not a damn priest then, are you? Okay? Deuteronomy 22, 28 to 29, it says, if a man find a damsel that is a virgin, which is not betrothed, so once again, she hasn't had intercourse, and she's not engaged to anybody, not promised to anybody. Okay, so she's single. Okay? And lay hold on her, and lie with her, and they be found. Then the man that lay with her shall give unto the damsel's father 50 shekels of silver. So he has to pay him, because he's losing a possession now. He's losing his daughter, who probably helped all around the house and helped, you know, with all sorts of stuff, man. Cooked, cleaned, okay? That was his daughter. But in a fair exchange, the man is getting some money, okay? You know, because this man has to take her to wife. And the father obviously, you know, may not be necessarily happy about that, because he may have, you know, had somebody in mind, but didn't have it set up to where she was betrothed yet, but maybe he had somebody in mind, or, you know, maybe he didn't want her to get married quite yet, you know, whatever the case may be. So to make up for that, this man gets 50 shekels of silver. Also to make up for it, they're making it so this man has to stay with his daughter, okay? So he doesn't have to worry about his daughter being, you know, becoming a harlot or being left on the side of the street, okay? And that's righteous, man. This is a righteous law. You understand? This is a righteous thing, okay? We're not telling you to rape people. What we're telling you is when rape happened, because it did, this is how you handled it, okay? That's all we're doing. That is all we're doing. Trying to see if there's anything else on here that I missed. But yeah, and also another, you know, at time this could very well be, and you know, people would understand this law, you know, in the men, and they wouldn't necessarily do this just for pleasure. They would do this because they just wanted to be with that woman, you know. But maybe the father didn't agree with them, or, you know, maybe they just wanted to skip the ceremony, whatever, you know. Or maybe some people did it for pleasure. But this makes it so, you know, because if a man did do it for solely pleasure and he had no intention of staying with this woman, now because of this law that the Most High has created, which is perfect, man. All right, the Most High's words are perfect. because of this, that man now has to stay committed to her regardless of what his intentions were. Okay? Family's going to, she's going to be taken care of. She's going to be fed, clothed, going to potentially start a family. He's going to fall in love with her, more than ever, talk to her, This is a righteous thing. Okay? So Lord will have this edifying to the elect. I just wanted to throw this out there because I heard that it was brought up again. And I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Ba'Shem Abshai Ba'Shem Rachaha Kodash. That honors be to the apostle and the others, great millstone, rule well. Peace, blessing, salutations to those for elect. All right, Lord, will let this lesson is edifying to the lambs, Yahweh Ba'Shem Abshai, which is the entire purpose of this video. All right, with that said, Shalom, Mawatha B'Bah.